Did you ever hear of the molecule theory? Everything, do you see, is composed of small particles of itself, all darting around in arcs, circles, figurines, far too numerous to mention, and these gentlemen are called atoms. Do you follow me? No, the atomic theory is a very involved formula, but it can be worked out with the help of a good school algebra and graph paper. But if you have a bar of iron, and you hit that bar of iron a number of smacks with a good coal hammer, some of the atoms from the bar of iron will go into the coal hammer and vice versa. Do you follow me? And that is the atomic theory. Now, would it surprise you to know that the atomic theory is at work in this parish? With the gross and net result that people who spend most of their natural lives riding on iron bicycles through the rocky roadsteads of this parish have already got their own personalities mixed up with the personalities of their bicycles. This being due, you see, to an interchange of atoms between themselves and their saddles. Some are even worse than 50% bicycle. The unfortunate postman, I would say, is already 71%, and I doubt if we'll ever get his figure below 50 again. Now, a man who is already halfway to being a bicycle need not look like a bicycle. He may not, for instance, have a back wheel on him, and you could hardly expect him to grow handlebars. But you will always recognize someone who has let things go too far, for he will spend an inordinate amount of his life leaning against walls on one elbow, right? Or you might observe him in the high street there, standing with one foot raised against the edge of the path. Now, if people can become more than 50% bicycle, what of bicycles themselves? About this I will say little, except allow me to observe, have you ever noticed in bad weather the way a bicycle manages to get itself into the house? Close to the fire, or the dresser maybe, where the food is kept. I will tell to you a secret, confidentially. My own grandfather was 83 years when we buried him, and for 5 years before that he was a horse. This was due to the long number of years of his natural life that he spent in the saddle. Now, usually in the old age he was quiet and harmless enough, grazing away there in the field. But now and again he'd go for a smart gallop. If you saw a man on 2 legs galloping, comical. His old horse, Dan, was of a contrary opinion altogether. And poor old Dan, the horse, gave so much trouble attempting to get into the house at night, committing indictable offences in the daytime, and interfering with young women, that they had to shoot him. But to my mind always, it was my grandfather that they shot, and the old horse that they buried above there in the cemetery. There are 5 rules to be followed in life. 1, always carry your repair kit. 2, never go far without a pump. 3, always apply the back brake first. 4, make left turns as much as possible. And 5, turn everything to your own advantage.